Clean finishes in wrestling are vitally important to maintaining the credibility of the medium, otherwise anarchy can just break loose at any moment. There have been many examples of company getting carried away with finishes that aren't conclusive or satisfying for the viewer to watch. Dirty finishes are a key part of wrestling and can be very effective when used sparingly, and that's the key word here, sparingly. The problem is that over the years, the amount of run-ins, disqualifications, and matches that get thrown out have only increased, making it very difficult to enjoy a match that finishes in a cheap way. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club. In today's video, we're counting down the 10 best wrestling matches ever that have dirty finishes. In number 10, we have Christian winning the world title by disqualification, which made Randy Orton lose the World Heavyweight Championship at Money in the Bank 2011. Money in the Bank 2011 is usually remembered for the seminal main event between John Cena and CM Punk, but there was also some great action on the undercard of the show if you ignore the Bella Twins match. Christian and Randy Orton continued their lengthy feud over the World Heavyweight Championship at the event in question, in a match tonight that allowed the former Christian to win the title if Orton got disqualified. This is exactly what happened as Christian goaded Randy into hitting him with a low blow, allowing Captain Charisma to become a two-time world champion in WWE. The pair would certainly have better matches together, but the Money in the Bank bout successfully continued their well-received feuds throughout the summer, leading to their all-time great at SummerSlam. In number 9, we have Shawn Dean, who beat MJF twice when CM Punk and Wardlow cost the devil. Shawn Dean having two singles victories over MJF, who is possibly the most important wrestler in AEW at the moment, was more of a genius piece of booking than a pair of great matches, but it showed how effective dirty finishes can be when used sparingly. AEW were very disciplined throughout its first few years, not having an abundance of disqualifications or count-out finishes to its matches, which coincided with the great structure that the ranking system provided. CM Punk first exploited this to his advantage as he disqualified MJF by hitting Shawn Dean so that the captain would win the match and Maxwell would move down the rankings. Then, Wardlow stopped MJF from entering the ring, meaning that he was counted out in his second match against Dean, who now had 2 wins over the future AEW champion. In number 9, we have AJ Styles, who snapped at SummerSlam 2018 as Samoa Joe got too personal during their match. AJ Styles' second reign as WWE Champion is best remembered through his feud against fellow TNA alumni Samoa Joe in 2018, as the pair had a series of good matches together. Their best match together probably came at SummerSlam of that year, in spite of a lackluster finish that diminished the overall experience. Throughout the feud, Joe targeted AJ's wife, Wendy, or should I say, Wendy, and tensions boiled over during the match, causing the champion to unleash a barrage of steel chair attacks on his opponents. This meant the match ended in disqualification, and the two would go on to face each other several more times throughout the year. In number 7, with Steve Austin escaping from Kurt Angle, as the legends squared off at SummerSlam 2001. By SummerSlam 2001, Kurt Angle had become a huge babyface, while Steve Austin was still a heel following the events that transpired at WrestleMania X7. Their match at that event is fondly remembered by fans as a classic of the era, in spite of a dirty finish that allowed Austin to retain his championship. Angle kicked out of multiple stunners during the match, which ultimately led to Stone Cold to attack the referees in a bid to get himself disqualified. With the help of crooked WCW referee Nick Patrick, Austin did retain the title by DQ, even though the Olympian had beaten him to end the match. In number 6, with Andre the Giant and Stan Hansen brawl, which meant the match could not be settled conclusively. A match that is not talked about enough is the bout between Andre the Giant and Stan Hansen at New Year Japan Bloody Fight Series in 1981. Andre was a far more capable in-ring performer during his stint in Japan, with his match against the legendary Stan Hansen displaying this in spite of a wonky finish. The two behemoths first fought to a double countout, but the match restarted only for Andre to get disqualified a few minutes later. Even with the cop-out finish, the match is fondly remembered as two 80s icons did some of their best work. In number 5, we have Triple H wins an Iron Man match by DQ as The Rock went over an hour with the game. One of the more fondly remembered Iron Man matches in wrestling history happened at Judgment Day 2000, with The Rock facing Triple H for the WWE Championship. This was in spite of a dirty finish that had the returning American Badass Undertaker causing Triple H to win 6-5 after the referee Shawn Michaels saw him get attacked at the very end of the match. Even though it was a disqualification finish at the end of an hour-long match, the hectic and creative way with which this was delivered was genuinely great. The Rock and Triple H had great chemistry together, and The Undertaker was able to debut his American Badass gimmick in dramatic fashion. In number 4, we have Kenny Omega, who wins the AEW Championship as he took Don Callis' help to defeat Jon Moxley. As previously mentioned, AEW made a concerted effort not to rely on cheap finishes during its first few years on television, which was particularly true in the main event matches. This made an infraction to the big matches feel even more transgressive than it normally would, which was best showcased during the feud between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega in 2020. In the main event of the Winter is Coming edition of Dynamite in 2020, Moxley defended his AEW Championship against Omega, who had begun showing some heel tendencies in the weeks leading up to the event. The match ended with a full-blown heel turn by Kenny as he enlisted the help of Don Callis to win the match and become AEW Champion. In number 3, we have Bret Hart and Diesel don't get to finish, as a number of other wrestlers interfered in their match at Royal Rumble 1995. Bret Hart and Diesel had an underrated set of matches throughout the mid-1990s, with their best effort being at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in 1995. The pair had previously fought through a disqualification at King of the Ring 1994, when Jim Neidhart interfered on Bret's behalf, even though the Hitman did not want him to. With Diesel now being champion, Bret fought him for almost 30 minutes at the Royal Rumble show, almost as long as the Royal Rumble match itself that year. But the match ended in a no contest after a number of interferences. The match was made even greater by Hart's situational heel performance as he mercilessly targeted the leg of Big Daddy Cool to try and gain an advantage. In number 2, we have Mankind and Shawn Michaels, who put on a classic, and unfortunately the match went to a disqualification at In Your House Mind Games in 1996. Arguably the greatest In Your House match ever, Mankind and Shawn Michaels put on a classic at Mind Games 1996, which did unfortunately end in a disqualification. Mick Foley, as he always did, used his body as a weapon against Michaels, with Mankind never looking more like a monster than he did in this match. After Shawn Michaels seemingly had the match won, Vader interfered to cause a DQ, with Psycho Sid and The Undertaker proceeding to make appearances also. Despite the cheap finish, the match is fondly remembered as one of the decade's best due to its technical quality and in-ring storytelling. And in number 1, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin selling his soul to Satan himself to unite with Mr. McMahon, where The Rock would lose the WWE Championship at WrestleMania X7. Perhaps the most infamous finish in wrestling history, as nobody could believe it when Mr. McMahon assisted Stone Cold Steve Austin to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania X7. Both Austin and The Rock were babyfaces heading into the event, although Austin had started to show a few heelish tendencies. And even though The Rock had previously worked with McMahon as a heel before he became the People's Champion, he was the corporate champion. It became clear, though, once Vince appeared, that he was not there to aid The Rock, and was instead there to help his mortal enemy Stone Cold win the belt to shock the wrestling world. The two sealed the deal with a handshake over The Rock's prone body, thus bringing an end to years of conflict and the Attitude Era as fans knew it. And there you have it, there's our list. So what did you think? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. What is your favourite match that ended with a no contest? This could be a disqualification, a count out, interference, anything that just wasn't conclusive. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click the like button and the subscribe button to make sure you never miss out on any of the fun content we produce here at Honor Wrestling Club. Be sure to check out our other videos and share this video around with your friends. Go on, you'll enjoy them. I know you will. However, that's all for now. I'd just like to thank you for watching and welcome you to the club. See ya!